Israel is warning that Hamas is trying to blow up the ceasefire in the most violent way, with new reports showing Hamas is not disarming, it's rearming, and a major intelligence bombshell threatens Jews and Israelis across Europe. Here's the latest on these and other topics. A major break in the ceasefire after Hamas gunmen attacked Israeli troops operating inside the Gaza Strip. The army responded with a wave of airstrikes, targeting a high-level meeting of Hamas commanders. The Trump administration is backing Israel's response, with one senior U.S. official reportedly accusing Hamas of lashing out after the UN passage of Trump's peace plan and an effort to shatter the ceasefire. This as Israel officials warn that Hamas and Hezbollah are rebuilding their forces with support from Iran to reestablish an axis of resistance against Israel. In Europe, Israel's National Intelligence Agency says it has uncovered a Hamas terror network operating across the region that has led to a wave of arrests. The Mossad says they're working with authorities in Germany, Austria, and other countries to expose weapon caches, explosives, and operatives plotting attacks on Israeli and Jewish targets. A key suspect is the son of senior Hamas leader Bassem Naim. Israel says the findings prove Hamas's top leadership is directing European terror operations despite public denials. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a rare visit to the IDF-controlled buffer zone in Syria, calling Israel's presence there vital to his country's security.
We attach enormous importance to our ability, both defensive and offensive here, to protecting our Druze allies, and especially protecting the state of Israel and its northern border across the Golan Heights. This is a mission that could evolve at any moment.
The trip comes as quiet talks with Damascus over a security arrangement for southern Syria has stalled. And a new report out of London is sparking international outrage. A study of 300 Palestinian textbooks and dozens of teacher guides shows that the curriculum is still packed with anti-Semitism, in direct violation to an EU agreement signed last year. The analysis by the Impact SC research group says Jews are routinely depicted as deceitful and inherently corrupt enemies of Islam.
They started with education and rewriting the curriculum. Why? Because they understood that if they want to maintain power, they need to educate a future generation according to their values. The same thing ISIS did when they became a power.
One seventh-grade teacher guide even claims Israeli soldiers bash children's heads in front of their mothers and mutilate women for jewelry, and then it instructs students to draw those scenes. More than a month into the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, the agreement remains on shaky ground. While the truce is officially in place, the IDF reports hundreds of violations by Hamas that began just weeks after the October deal. This week, Hamas terrorists opened fire on Israeli troops operating within the yellow line that divides Gaza between Israeli forces and the Palestinians. Israel responded with an airstrike that killed the chief of Hamas's naval forces and a major hostage operative. The second phase of the U.S.-brokered ceasefire plan calls for Hamas to disarm, but Israel says the terror group is not only refusing to lay down its weapons, it's actually rearming. According to Israeli defense officials, Hamas has begun stockpiling weapons in other regions, such as Yemen and African nations, with the intention of smuggling them back into Gaza later on.
The investigation into the Hamas terror network is currently also examining the possible involvement of Hamas elements in Turkey in promoting the intention to carry out attacks, some which have already been exposed. This is because Turkey is an operational arena for Hamas operatives in the past and in the present.
At the same time, Hamas is said to be coordinating with Hezbollah and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard in Iran to revive the axis of resistance against Israel. From terror tunnels to the White House, President Trump hosted a delegation of nearly all the freed Israeli hostages, calling them heroes. Trump singled out Israeli tank soldier Matan Angrest for praise.
He went through hell, I guess, but Matan never broke. And today's living testimony to the toughness, heart, and faith of the Jewish people. But we need a great inspiration to everybody.
Meanwhile, U.S. officials say the F-35 jets intended for Saudi Arabia will be less advanced than those operated by Israel, preserving Israel's qualitative military edge, according to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. In Jerusalem, Netanyahu also reiterated that there will be no Palestinian state, even if that means sacrificing normalized relations with Saudi Arabia.
Our opposition to a Palestinian state in any area west of the Jordan, this opposition exists and it remains and has not changed one bit.
And on another front, Israel's foreign affairs minister says the Palestinian Authority, despite claiming it has stopped payments to terrorists and their families, has actually dramatically increased them. Gideon Sa'ar shared the post on X showing that pay-to-slay payments went from $144 million in 2024 to $214 million so far in 2025, before the year is even over.